Okay, guys, I apologize, but I didn't realize that the other video only had me explaining three problems. So I went ahead and started a new video going over the whole thing. You can skip through to the problems that you don't understand how to do. I don't have a problem with that, but here we go. So, because this might be a long video. So, zeros and x-intercepts, remember, those are the exact same thing. Okay. Zeros and x-intercepts are the same. And that is where your graph is crossing the x-axis. So it's crossing through 0, 0, and it's crossing through -4, 0. So your answers for that should be exactly the same. 0, 0, -4, 0. All right, your vertex is always going to be the highest or the lowest point. And for this one, the vertex is -2, -4. Oh man, my numbers are coming out. And it's very important that you also label your vertex with X and Y, because that will be very helpful for the rest of the questions. Your axis of symmetry, line of symmetry, is the line that splits it in half. So it's an imaginary line that splits your parabola in half, and that one will always, always, always go through the vertex. So you can always say that X is equal to the X value of the vertex. X value of the vertex, so -2. So these numbers should match. Okay, your y-intercept, that one you can just find here. That is a 0, 0. There is a low point, a minimum, so the minimum value should match the y value of the vertex. So the minimum is -4. Okay. Domain, because we have arrows on both sides, will always be all real numbers. And the range, when you're writing your range, always start with this format and think if you have.
Available for duty, please go outside or to the gym. Again, if you're available for duty, please go outside or the gym. Thank you.
And then think about if you have a minimum or a maximum. So this number right here is going to go on this side. The other side would be infinite. Since you only keep the number with the variable, just make sure that the variable is in the front. So we do flip it, and the range for this one is y is greater than or equal to -4. That would be your final answer right there. Okay. The graph of f of x was transformed to create the graph of g of x minus g of x is equal to f of x minus 7.5. Now, because vertex form is written as f of x equals a times x minus h plus k squared, sorry, you can see that they changed the minus h right here. And the formula, in the formula, it is already a minus sign. So that means you had to have plugged in a positive 7.5, which moves your parabola to the right. Okay. Now, another way you could do this is to type it into your calculator. Your parent function, you know that the parent function is f of x is equal to x squared, and the new one is x minus 7.5. So let me, oh, maybe I can pull up the camera. Give me a second so I can show you guys. Where's the camera? Let's see if it'll let me open it. because Zoom is already using something. It might not. Sorry. Yeah, I don't think it will. Let me pause the video. Okay, I was trying to figure out a way to show you my other calculator. It wouldn't let me. So what you can do, and obviously with your updated calculators, you will be able to see you'll be able to see it in colors with red and blue, right? So because the parent function is x squared, I'm going to put x squared right here in the first line in y1. And then I'm going to put the new function into y2, which if you switch f of x to x squared, it's should be x minus 7.5 squared. Okay. Now, with these old calculators, I would have to tell my students to pay attention to the order it's graphed, and there's your parent function. And there's the new one. So you can clearly see that it moved or it shifted to the right, translated to the right, whichever way you want to say it. Okay. All right. Number 3, 4, 5, 6. What is the minimum value of f? Minimum value is going to come from your vertex. So if this is the vertex right here, x and y, it is the y value of the vertex. So the minimum is -5. Okay. What is the y-intercept of the graph? The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So that would be 0, 4, or just 4. The domain, because we have arrows on both ends, all real numbers. And the range. Range is where you have to pay attention to minimum and maximum. Minimum goes here. Maximum goes here. Because there is a minimum value, you're going to put that -5 in the minimum spot. The other side is infinite. And yes, you do have to flip it around. So the range is y is greater than or equal to -5. Okay. The domain of any equation, if it's not describing some real life situation, is always going to be all real numbers. Easy peasy. This one, the graph of f of x is transformed to create h of x. So if we're going from f to h, you're going from dotted to solid. Now, we said that a 2 in front of your x squared, that's the same as having 2x squared. You can switch out, because f of x is equal to x squared, you can switch out f of x to x squared. Now, if you look at it over here in your calculator, see if I can pull up the big screen. There we go. We said it was 2x squared. Notice the change that happens. There's your parent function. And the second one is inside of it, so it got narrower. So going from dotted to solid, J is the one where it got narrower. Okay. If this 2 is greater than 1, it's going to get narrower. If it becomes a fraction, it'll be greater. Which statement is true given 5x squared plus 12x minus 9? I showed you guys in class. With any trinomial, you can either diamond method or kidnap. We're going to kidnap because the number in the front, because there is a number in front of x squared. So that changes it to x squared plus 12x minus 9. Put that in your diamond. Oh, not minus 9, minus 9 times 5, 45, -45. And then positive 12. And we said that when we solve it, that's 15 minus 3. Put that into your parentheses. X plus 15, x minus 3. And then don't forget to divide, give the kid back. 15 divided by 5, that one's going to give me x plus 3. And then you do bottoms up with this one. So that becomes 5x plus minus 3, my bad. Minus 3. X plus 3, 5x minus 3, which would give you answer choice A. Other than that, you could take this equation, 5x squared plus 12x minus 9, and put that into your calculator and calculate for the zeros, which is something that we learned how to do, and you should have the paper with all the steps with you. And let me clear this out. All right, 5x squared. And let me get my review out, sorry. Plus 12x minus 9. Second trace or second calculate number 2 for 0. Wait for it to graph. Remember, your star always starts on the y-intercept. So your y-intercept for this one, if it was asking for it, is 0, -9. But I'm going to move it to my 0. It's somewhere in the middle because it's on the y-axis. I'm going to move it to the side till I find my star. Okay. I'm as close as I can get to my x-intercept. So I'm going to go to the left twice. 1, 2, enter. Go back to the intercept. Now I'm going to go to the right side of it. So my 0 is -3, 0, which it says my 0 is -3. That means I can cancel out C and D. I can go back and calculate the other one, but clearly you can see it's on the positive side, right? So I go with A. All right, this is one of those where you put it into stat edit. Go to the side, putting my numbers. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, delete, delete. By the way, if there's another one in this review, I'm not doing it again. 3, 3, 2, 3. That's too much work for my tablet. 3940. And I did it wrong. 3940. 4313. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4323. Okay. How did I end up with more? 30, 35, 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Dang it. Okay, that worked out. Cool. Stat, calculate, 5 for quadratics. And in this screen, that should be familiar to linear regression. Alpha trace, enter, enter, enter. And then you just match up the numbers. Notice it's -8.9 or -4.89. So make sure you're picking the right one, 295. And then the last number is 0.57, which rounds up to the 0.6. Okay. With this one, put it into vertex form first. That's your H and K. H goes here, K goes here. Now, because 3 is positive, it's going to remain as a minus sign. So these two are automatically out. After that, then you pick -7. Okay. Now you can always check if you're down to, let's say this one is also a negative and you can't decide if it should be positive 3/4 or negative 3/4. You can type your equation into y equals and check the table. Now, since we already know that the answer is negative 3/4, that's what I'm going to put into y equals. So negative 3/4 parentheses x minus 3 squared minus 7, and I check my table. There's my, I go to positive 1, and there's my negative 10. So this point does belong to this equation, okay? Which function is equivalent? Equivalent meaning they are equal. So long way to solve this. You can always type this into y1 and type these into y2 to see which one is the same as this. Or let's solve it vertex form. You always want to start with box method. So x plus 3, x plus 3, x squared, 3x, 3x, and then 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, so now you have 2, because I brought down that 2, times x squared plus 6x when I combined these two, plus 9. And don't forget you have that plus 5 as well. After you do box method, you distribute. So 2 times x squared is 2x squared, plus 2 times 6 is 12. And then 2 times 9 is 18. But then 18 plus 5 gives you that 23. So there, your answer is B. Next one. When you're given a graph, that's always easiest. You want to start with looking at the y-intercept. The y-intercept is 0, -8. So you can automatically get rid of these two, okay? Now, we already learned how to solve for A, which you can do that on your own. Or because you have a graph, you can pick some points. So I'm going to pick -4, 0, and 4, 0. You can make a table and put these into stat edit, -4, 0, 4, 0, 0, -8, and find what equation goes with this. It's not letting me pull up my calculator, sorry. Come on, there we go. So I go to stat, edit, erase whatever's in there because last time I messed up. Thanks to that. -4, 4, 0, 0, 0, -8. You go to stat, calculate number 5, alpha trace, enter, enter, enter. And it's 1/2 minus 1/2 x squared minus 8, or A, sorry. Which equation best represents the axis of symmetry? What do you need to do? Split the parabola in half. And it's going through the -3. Because it's a vertical line, your axis of symmetry always starts with x equals. So you automatically want to get rid of any y equals. Y equals 9 is a horizontal line going this way. Y equals 5, horizontal line going that way. So those should not be your answers. Don't worry about 15 or 16. That's not on the test yet. Number 17, we talked about finding the vertex by paying attention to your y values. Notice you have a repetition with 12, 12, 9, 9. So this would represent the vertex. Okay. Now, if we're finding a range for this situation, we need to know what type of parabola this is. You can type these in a stat edit to look at the graph, or just pay attention to how the values go. If we're going from 0 to 15, the numbers are increasing. From 15 back to 0, the numbers are decreasing. So if we are increasing, our parabola goes up and then it goes back down. So that means there is a maximum. And that maximum is the 15. Okay. Now the lowest that it goes would be 0 or 0. So that means all real numbers are greater than or equal to 0 or less than or equal to, 15. The 75 is an x value. Okay. It was translated right 7.5 units. Remember, even if it goes to the right, in the parentheses, it's going to be x minus 3.75. So your answer was B. On 19, what's the maximum value? We're looking for the highest y value, which is 20. So you would just bubble in 20, which I don't know how you do that on the other way. Last one, axis of symmetry. Split it down the middle. So your axis of symmetry is x equals 3. The function has how many zeros? How many x-intercepts, or how many times does it touch the x-axis? It only touches one time. Okay. Tomorrow during enrichment, we'll have a quick review over a couple of other things, but other than that, there's your video. How do I